Let's get on to the late games, 4 o'clock games, 4:05 games. Colts at the Raiders. You know where I'm going to be on this. I got the Colts are 2.5-point favorites. As much as I love a short home dog, I don't love a short home dog when it's the Raiders.
And I'm not going to make the Eagles our big balls bet of the week. I promise. So for this week, Las Vegas Raiders, big balls, bet of the week.
Shut up.
No one wants to take the Raiders. Everyone knows they should have lost to the Jets. People are going to be coming on the Colts. They're just going to look at the score box and see how well they played and the fact that they won in Houston. We talked about in text why I didn't want to take the Colts. I didn't like that Philip Rivers his turf toe. And, Chad, I know you've broken every finger on your body, but I don't know if you ever had turf toe. But it's one of those things, every time you step on your big toe and pivot or anything, step into a throw, it's shooting pain up your leg every time. So Rivers, he played terrible last week, and it didn't matter. His weapons are that good. He just gets it to his guys, and they just do all the work for him. But this week with the Raiders, I love that we're buying low on the Raiders coming into this game. And the fact that, like you just said, they're catching points at home, I'll take the Raiders every time here.
Big balls bet of the week. I can't believe you're doing this to me with the Las Vegas Raiders. I feel like I have faded the Raiders every single week this year, and actually we've done so profitably.
How is that possible? They're they're a playoff team.
Yeah, but they don't cover. I don't know. I just feel like every week I'm against the Raiders, and I always feel good about it.
That's fair.
I don't know what their ATS record is. Matt
Mitchell.
Mitchell.
It's good.
Is it good?
I mean, it's above 500. I can tell you that much.
Maybe Matt Mitchell can look it up while we're talking. He is a producer extraordinaire.
Because usually, if they don't cover, they get blown out. Like anytime they've won or had a close game, they've usually been an underdog and covered that number. Or when they win, they blow the team out. So I'm just assuming they're good against the spread.
All right, so our Hornets Nest, we've gone back-to-back. Hornets Nest is going to be Dolphins plus 7.5 against the Chiefs. And then Big Balls Bet of the Week is going to be Raiders plus 2.5 against the Colts, which makes this next game Jets visiting Seattle. Oh, this is so sad. Jamal Adams is going to make minced meat, a Christmas pie of Sam Darnold. And it's going to be so upsetting for the Jets. They're 13.5-point dogs because this was their shot. They took their shot. It didn't work. They gave it all up on an unprecedented, all-out 8-man blitz that has never happened with this much time left in the game in this scenario. Stuckey and Colin Wilson talked about it on the Action Network podcast earlier this week, that they went through the data, and there had never been a play call like this where a defense had sent more than 6 pass rushers on a play like that, where the Jets lost to the Raiders. So kudos to the Jets for finding an unbelievably ostentatious way to tank that game.
It was honestly the right move. Who cares if you guys go in 16? I know a lot of Jets fans in my life. They don't care. They just want the end goal, which is a quarterback at the number 1 pick. So if it's Trevor Lawrence, they're all going to be happy. They just, at this point, they don't care. Yeah, that was embarrassing, but we're all been saying it's going right according to plan for the Jets. They're still on pace to be on 16. So in this game, I usually would take the Jets, and the fact that the Seahawks haven't played well at home without the fans, you've really seen it kind of affect them. But I can't do it. Can't take the Jets after what you just said. They played such a close game. Playing a Seahawks team, I just got embarrassed at home. The Jets defense is nowhere near the same level as the Giants defense. So it's scary. It's a backdoor number, but I can't see them not covering this game by 14. So it's 13.5 right now. I had it at 14. If it's not 14, I'm going to take the Seahawks. As long as it stays under 14, I'll take the Seahawks.
The Jets have been a backdoor team. Remember earlier in the year we talked about this. Like the Jets found ways in garbage time to score points, whether it was ruining a total or ruining a side. So, that's buyer beware.
Yeah, and what we really talked about was these teams always regress to a mean, or they progress to a mean. So the Jets and the Cowboys, they start the year 0-6 against the spread. And the Jags, even the Jags had a bad run of not covering spreads. Now the Jags have covered, I think, 4 weeks in a row. The Jets have covered a bunch of weeks. Cowboys, they still cover here and there. It's just one of those things. Eventually the line, Vegas catch up to these numbers. So, yeah, it's a little scary taking a big number like this with the Seahawks, but I got to do it.
Packers Lions. Packers 7-point favorites. We've talked about it. Like, they're not a dominant team. So do the Packers go on the road in Darrell Bevell's second game as interim head coach? Do they cover as more than a touchdown favorite?
Ah, God. Yeah. Like, I liked it better at 7.5. I hate it, but we have to, like you just said, we have to take the Lions in this situation. Divisional game at home, catching more than a touchdown or a touchdown. We know how bad the Lions are before people start messaging us. We get it. The Lions are terrible, but situational play. Packers off the back-to-back covers, now playing Detroit. That they just had a huge comeback win. I'm right there with you. Like the Lions this week. Either we're gonna get blown out or we're gonna feels like win this game outright. So yeah, I like the Lions this week.
Yeah, you got to take the Lions. It's gross, but we do gross things as bettors. We stick by our principles, and sometimes sticking by your principles means doing gross things.
Gross games give you winners, buddy.
What's the good phrasing here? Gross equals most. Gross equals great. Gross games. Oh, I got it. Gross games equals gross profits.
No profits are gross, man. I will take all the ugly money in the world.
No, gross profits, like, in a business, like
yeah,
gross
like
profits. Oh, thanks for coming around. Thanks for coming around to my side. Little educating going on there. All right, Falcons minus 2.5 at the Chargers. Do with the Chargers. Like these are the two teams that, like, this is the vomitorium game of the week.
Yeah, it's awful, but I have to take the Falcons. It's just, if it's under a field goal, what do we know about the Chargers? They lose close games. So the Chargers were getting 3.5 at home. I'd love to take it, but I have this number at -3. The fact that it's 2.5, I'm going to take Atlanta.
Dude, I'm telegraphing here for all of our listeners, but this is a skip week. Like, every single time we're talking about a team, I got to take this.
I know. I wish I could come in with a fake, like, this is my play of the week. I love it. But
we did. We had a big ball. We had a big balls bet of the week on the Raiders.
I love that one, but you're not going to love all the games we pick, man. That's what being a pro, I talk about the time. I might bet all the games, but I'm going to have 3 or 4 games I load up on, or 3 or 4 totals I load up on. So I don't feel good about it, but this is a good number with Atlanta. So yeah, I have zero confidence, but I'm taking Atlanta.
My favorite football team, the Washington football team, with professional quarterback Alex Smith, traveling across the country as 3-point dogs on DraftKings against the 49ers, probably going to be played in Arizona, I would imagine. Such a good defensive line. They looked great, but I feel like this is when you got to sell the Washington football team, much as I hate it. It's kind of
exactly. And not loving this whole situation with 49ers having to play in Arizona. I definitely think that affected the last game. Josh Allen played out of his mind. That was all Josh Allen that whole game. But they should be more comfortable now. It's week 2. They've been there. The football team coming off the win of wins. They're all on Twitter, like, putting laugh out loud at the Steelers and being cocky, even though they're 5-7. This is a great under game too. But yeah, I'm right there with you. 49ers minus 3.5. I could see the defense of the 49ers bouncing back after such a bad week last week.
Robert Saleh is playing for his head coaching career to go to the Detroit Lions. He's got to have a good showing this week.
See, I still can't believe he didn't get a job last year, where he was the only guy that even slightly shut down the Chiefs. Remember, the Chiefs were losing 14-10 heading into the fourth quarter, and then Mahomes just had a magical play on a third down that completely shook that game. Yeah. I can't believe he didn't get a job offer last year. Like, I know the way the league's going, where it's pretty stupid nowadays to hire a defensive coach as your head coach, just because it's all offense now. If you have a great offense, it's usually going to overstep a great defensive coach. So I love the guy. and you're exactly right. He needs a couple wins here to get his name back in the running and be a head coach again.
It's going to be interesting. There's a bunch of state legislators in Michigan who sent a letter to the Lions to have him be their head coach. If I'm him, I'm like, oh, why'd you guys do that? Like, what owner is going to go hire someone that politicians are begging them to hire?
Especially in a state like Michigan that has not figured out Flint, Michigan's water situation. It feels like they have more pressing issues they should be worrying about than the head coach of the Detroit Lions.
I know, right? It's
Jesus.
True. It's true. Saints, is this the week Drew Brees comes back? 7-point favorites against the Philadelphia Vomitoriums.
How dare you?
No.
Like it, I love it. Yeah, it's a classic. No one's gonna bet the Eagles except me and 4 other guys that still have money left from betting on the Eagles. I would love if it was Tyson Hill again, because that'd be a fun matchup, him versus Hurts, if it is Hurts being the starting quarterback for the Eagles. But yeah, we'll pass on it because it's too much unknown. We don't know if Drew Brees is playing. We don't know if Carson Wentz is playing. So I'm not even going to touch this number right now. It's one of these few games I won't bet today after the podcast.
By the way, as you were saying, I'm going to be one of the 4 people that bets the Eagles. Swear to God, this happened. On the Action Network website where I track all the betting percentages and the money percentages, the Saints bet percentage lit up and increased because as you were talking, someone came in and bet the Saints. It might have been Matt Mitchell. He's the only one hearing this live, and he might have heard you were betting the Eagles, so he came in on the Saints.
That's good to hear, though. I like that. I mean, it makes me feel even better about the Eagles if the public's going to keep coming in because no one, like you just said, no one wants to bet the Eagles this week. This is why I had to keep betting them. They're just an ugly team that finds a way to cover. And last week didn't work out for me. Hopefully this week it does.
The Buffalo Bills are making their second straight appearance in prime time. This time Sunday night, hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're 2-point favorites. The Steelers, this is a buy low, sell high, except the Steelers kind of looked like the less than outstanding undefeated team that we all thought they were. And the Bills looked good. Like not just, oh my God, they're back good, but it looked like all cylinders were hitting to me against a really, really well-coached team.
Yeah, I might be stepping in front of it here with Pittsburgh, but like you just said, I have to take him here. That Josh Allen is what he's always been. He's inconsistent. He has moments of brilliance. He has games of brilliance. But we haven't seen him put together 4 or 5 great games in a row where he's just really good and not turning the ball over. So Pittsburgh going to be really mad playing against a Buffalo team that just had a huge win on prime time. I love the fact that the public's coming in on Buffalo. Everyone's down on Pittsburgh. Everyone thinks they're frauds because they lost a game. They're 11-1. They only can beat the teams put in front of them. Yeah, they have some weaknesses. They can't run the ball. They pass too much. The defense keeps losing guys in important positions, but I don't know. It just feels like once the public leaves the team, that's when I usually like to get it on. So with the Steelers here, I faded them last week. This week, I'm going to probably come back in on the Steelers.
What do you have this game power rated at?
I had it at a pick. So the fact that I moved just 1 point, 1.5 point, not that much value. But the public keeps coming in on this. The noise keeps coming out of Pittsburgh. They have a lot of injuries. This will probably go up to +3. So I would wait on betting this number.
I love that you said everything that was bad. The Steelers have a horrible run-pass ratio.
Yep.
They keep losing their best players.
Yep.
Their injuries abound. They're going on the road for whatever that means in 2020.
Bills are getting healthier.
Because the public loves the Bills, you got to go in on the Steelers.
Yeah, it's profitable. Matt Mitchell asked me why the hell wasn't I betting Denver on Sunday night with that big number, and I simply said I'm a coward, and I should have. It's the right side. Whenever the public comes in really heavy on one side, especially these primetime games, it's been working out for you just to fade them. So that was my mistake, not taking Denver. So this week I'm not going to let it happen again. I don't care if Pittsburgh's not good. They don't look good. I'm taking it.
All right, the last primetime game of the week, the last game of the week, the Monday night game between the Ravens and the Browns in Cleveland. Public coming in on Cleveland, largely because we haven't seen what Cleveland can do tonight on Tuesday night. So What's your take here? It's pick.
Love it. I would love it. It would be even better, too, if the Ravens would just lose this game tonight because then we'd get crazy value on the Ravens. But Ravens always scheme and match up well with the Browns. The Browns, was it last year? They gave them one of the only 2 losses they had. They went to, I think it was like week 2 or 3. They went to Baltimore and beat the crap out of them and kind of threw us off the scent that the Ravens were going to be really legit last year. And they just went on a crazy run and pretty much won all their games. Where this year, first week of the year, the Ravens played them and the Ravens put it to them. And we know the Browns have improved, but the Browns are coming off the biggest one of the year for them. They just beat a playoff team on the road. And I cannot do it. I cannot put money on the Browns after that kind of win. They have to have a letdown game here. So I do like the Ravens in this position.
Since we've been talking, Matt Mitchell slacked me and let me know that Jalen Hurts has officially been named the starter for the Philadelphia Eagles this weekend.
I'm heartbroken. I loved Carson. I loved his upside, but he doesn't have the right head for this game. And if this is it as an Eagles fan, if we trade him in the offseason to the Jets or to Tampa Bay or wherever, I'm sad. But Carson, he's just not – you have to be really mentally tough to be a quarterback here in Philadelphia. People are just super negative in this area. People want Doug Peterson fired, right? This man has taken us to the playoffs 3 straight years and won us to Super Bowl. Okay, that lets you know what kind of people I'm dealing with here in Philadelphia. Like, they're just cutthroat, man. They just want the best every time. So that's sad, but they have to let Hurts play the rest of the year. We're not going to make the playoffs. It looks like this division is either going to be the Giants or Washington. So I'm not going to say it's the end for Carson in Philadelphia, but it kind of feels like if Hurts just wins 2 games here out of the next 3 or 4, that's it for Carson. So back to that game, I guess I would take the 7.5 now that I do know it's Hurts because he'll have a full week of practice and he'll be the number 1 going into the whole week. But I'm with you. We're not putting that in the competition. I'm done putting the Eagles in our competition.
Good. By the way, I love how you say, that's the kind of people we're dealing with here. As if you're some part of like the organization or you're above it all because you're professional better and you're more rational, whatever the case may be. That's what we're dealing with here.
Listen, I grew up on WIP, like Philly Sports Talk Radio, and it's probably been a solid – I mean, it might be the Super Bowl was the last time I listened to the radio just because it's never-ending negative Philadelphia fans, man. They're just negative people here. So you get what I'm saying. It's a lot to deal with here in Philadelphia.
I get it. Right now, we got to get to your survivor pick. But right now, actually, let's get to your survivor pick, and then let's run through the games that we've flagged. Another indication of why I think this should be the bye week for us is because I do see, like, so far – only 5 games that we felt even remotely comfortable enough about discussing. So I feel like we're finding an answer for ourselves.